Welcome back. Well, for those of you who were in my first show, welcome back. Those of you who weren't in the first show and just now joining, welcome and good morning. Once again, it's hashtag I'm going to say it. I'm your self proclaimed favorite news reporter, Mr. Breaking News. And you all, if you weren't in the first, here for the first show, then you know, you don't know, but I'm going to tell you. So today we're not, it's a personal day. Like, so we're going to talk about personal topics. The first show was very personal, and we're going to continue on with that. So it won't be about celebrity news or anything like that. It's just strictly going to be personal. You know, I'm going to tell you things about my life that happened, right? So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to jump right into it. Just saying good morning. And I'm Blueface, good morning. I'm going to jump right in because I know my first show today went over and I kept you longer than I was supposed to. So I'm just going to jump right into this, all right? So I don't hold you long. Yesterday's message in church was from Psalms 107. Psalm 107. And it's about Thanksgiving. It's about urging people to praise God for his goodness and deliverance, particularly for rescuing those facing various hardships, and emphasizes the importance of acknowledging God's steadfast love. Steadfast means it doesn't change, right? It doesn't change. That's what Pastor conveyed to us yesterday in church, and I want to convey to you an experience in our life where that rings true. So it was April 8th, 2017, Jacksonville, Florida. My tag team partner and I was debuting in this promotion called Champ 7 Pro Wrestling. And it was a big thing because they had television and it was shown around the world, right? So it was a big thing. And so I'm on a high, people. Like, I'm on a natural high because this is our first time signing, wrestling for this promotion. I'm on a natural high because the man who owns this promotion, I actually watched as a kid wrestling on TV in Continental Wrestling. And he went by, his ring name is Thunderbolt Hamilton. And so it was really, really important to me. You know, I grew up watching him wrestle with the Freebirds and uh, Tom Pritchard and Bullet Bob Armstrong and things of that. And that, you know, the greats of when we were a kid and watching wrestling. So, and on top of that, in the early 2000s, when I lived in Jacksonville, I remember coming home from church on Sundays and catching his promotion on BET. And they was wrestling over in the Caribbeans and things of that nature. So it was really, really, really a big deal to me. One guy I wrestled for that owned a promotion down there in Jacksonville, it was Thunder Wrestling Federation. I didn't know uh, what we call him Uncle Larry. Thunderbolt Hamilton, we call him Uncle Larry. But I didn't know Thunderbolt Hamilton at this particular time, right? Like I said, I just come home from church and watch the promotion on BET. But the promoter that I was wrestling for at that time was actually trained by Thunderbolt Hamilton. And I didn't get it at the time. But Jessica White, hey, good morning, good morning. How you doing? Thank you for that heart me. Thank you for that heart me. I appreciate that. Um, I didn't know it, and I didn't because I didn't know Thunderbolt Hamilton as far as personally. Like I said, I saw him wrestling on TV and things like that, but I didn't know him personally. And so I didn't know that the promoter I wrestled for, who owned Thunder Wrestling Federation, was trained by Thunderbolt Hamilton, and that's why he named his promotion Thunder Wrestling after Thunderbolt Hamilton's name. So in any event, I didn't put it together, but he'd always say that, you know, my trainer won't come to the show, and, you know, I wanted him to come to the show, but he never shows up. And I didn't know the trainer was Thunderbolt Hamilton. Otherwise, I would have known that. Well, hey man, I mean, he's in the Caribbean, um, doing his thing. There's no way he could, make it to our show here in Jacksonville. Granted, yeah, he lives here in Jacksonville. He's from Jacksonville, but he's in the Caribbean doing his thing. Like, I mean, you can see him. So I didn't know, so I couldn't put that together. But in any event, April 8th, 2017, my partner C Dog and I uh, debut, make our debut at Champ 7 Pro Wrestling. And like I said, this is big time. We're doing TV. It's shown across the country, out in different countries and everything, right? And so it was a big deal. So when I tell you I was on cloud nine to be doing this, I was. I was completely elated. And so we show up there, we do our match. It went good for the most part. Um, After we done the show, we go back to the hotel. Taking a shower, and my family and I were going to hang out with my tag team partner and his family. We were all planning to go out and eat and do things like that. Well, my tag team partner, he lives in Columbus, Georgia. So instead of going, they just went on after the show. They went on and headed back home. And so my family and I decided, well, hey, we'll just go out because I used to live in Jacksonville. So we were like, okay, we'll go out and see some of the sights and stuff like that down here because my mother-in-law and my daughter-in-law hadn't been there. So this was their first time there. And so after we get done taking a shower and we all go out, my daughter-in-law decided she wanted to go to the beach at night. And that's fine, but it's across the bridge. We were on the north side of Jacksonville. You got to go across the bridge to get to the south side and to the beaches, right? When I lived there, I lived on the south side. So, but in any event, that's the hotel that the promoter paid for was on the north side, so we had to go there. Jessica White, what is? Oh, thank you for that level up, Sparks. I appreciate that. Thank you, love. Now, in the midst of doing this, I was thinking while I'm driving, I'm like, I should probably take them by the landing first, since that's like that. We passed that on the way to the beach. I'm like, I should take them by the landing. You know, if you all don't mind, double tap the screen, guys, and don't forget to send me those heart me's. I need them, okay? I need them. Um, I was like, I'm gonna take them by the landing. That way we can walk on the river walk, see the skyline of Jacksonville while we're walking next to the river. And it's not there anymore, so and I don't know why they did away with that. I don't know why. That to me that was the premier landmark in Jacksonville, Florida. But nonetheless, at this point in time, it was still there, and I was driving, and I'm like, I should get off here and go to the Riverwalk. So my mother-in-law, my daughter, and we had our oldest grandson with us too. And I was like, we can see that, like we can show it to them, and they can experience it. And then we'll leave here and head on down to the beach. But then there was a part of me that was like, hey, let's celebrate. Let's give it up for Michelle 46. She's reached member level 6 on our team. And so instead of doing that, I said, well, you know what? Nah, we'll just go ahead and go to the beach because that's where they want to go to. So we'll just go ahead and go to the beach. And so that's what I did. I continued onward towards the beach instead of getting off and going to the Jacksonville landing. By the way, shout out to Duval. That's what they call Jacksonville people. And so we go ahead and we go towards the beach. And as we are getting onto the Matthews Bridge, you all can look these up, these places. But as we're getting on the Matthews Bridge, I'm on the outside. There's only two lanes going. So you have an inside lane and an outside lane, right? And when we crested, when we came on the bridge, when we was getting on the bridge, we was on the outside lane. And I'm like, you know what? Nah, let me get on the inside, right? I'm gonna get on the inside lane as we are going up on the beach, right? I mean, on the bridge, right? We get to the very top of the bridge, and there is the loudest boom I've heard in my life. Hey, good morning, Georgia Peach. Before I tell you what that boom was, let's go back a little bit. Because there's an incident that happened that we weren't a part of and didn't have knowledge of even happening. So let's go back a little bit. So before we even got into the area, some man uh had a car wreck, caused a car wreck. Hey, chat, can we get up to 20 likes? Let's see if we can get up to 20 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 20 likes and hit the goal. Um, there was a man who was at a convenience store and he hit somebody else. So he caused a car wreck in the parking lot or at the convenience store, right? This is back in 2017, Georgia Peach. This is the night we almost died. And so he hit the guy at the gas station, but he drove off because he didn't have insurance on the car. And I don't think he had license neither. I can't quite remember, but I know he wasn't legit. He wasn't fully legit. And so that's why he left the scene of that crime, right? Well, of the wreck. And so he decided when he was fleeing that scene from hitting that car, he'd head towards the Matthews Bridge. Well, unbeknownst to us, we were already on the bridge about our way, going about our night. Just remember now, I just told you, I'm on a high. We just debuted at Champ 7 Pro Wrestling I'm talking about on national television, shown in different countries and everything. So I'm just super gassed. I'm so happy, right? And so and I'm spending time with my family. So now here we are on the bridge, going towards the south side, heading towards the beaches, minding our own business, right? Remember I told you guys that I heard that loud boom? And I told you it was like the loudest boom I'd ever heard. Well, that boom, sorry, is my mic okay? Put a one in the chat if my mic is okay. It's kind of sounds weird in my earbud. I don't know. But put a one in the live if you guys hear me okay. It's clear? Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, I'll keep going. And so that loud boom was that guy that was fleeing the accident that he had caused at that convenience store. And the guy that he had hit at the convenience store was giving chase to him, right? And so, I mean, the timing. As I told you, when we went on the bridge, I was on the outside lane, but I didn't feel comfortable on the outside lane. And so I got over to the left and went in the inside lane where the concrete median or divider is on the bridge. And as soon as we get to the top of the bridge, I'm talking about we're in the middle, right over St. John's River, that loud boom was the guy leaving the scene of the accident he just caused, plowing into the back of our van, which you see behind me right here. Now, after the show, because I try to figure out, I got to get with talking with JoJo. There's a lot of things I got to learn on how to work these live shows and stuff. But I was trying to figure. I got to get with talking with JoJo so she can show me how to do the picture reels and stuff. I was gonna put the video behind you and everything, but since I don't know how to do that now, just listen and remember that after the show, I'm gonna post not only the pictures, because there's more pictures we got of the van that I couldn't get all on here, but of more pictures, and I'm also going to post the video that my wife took after the accident, and you've got to see this. You've got to see this. And just follow along with me. He plows into the back of us, and you all can see the van how it looks. And remind you, in that back seat right there, just inside the window, is where my stepdaughter and my wife and our grandson was sitting. They were back there, and so they got the full impact of that. Now, when he hit us with so much force. He was going so fast. Yes, this is the accident I was telling you about. Yes, absolutely, Jessica. You remember. He hit us so hard that it knocked our van into that concrete divider or median that I was telling you that was to the left of us. We hit that on top of a bridge, people, a 2-lane bridge, and we're in a minivan. We hit that concrete median, bounced off of it, got hit by cars, spun around on the bridge, got hit again, went back into that concrete median. And then when we bounced and careened off the median, the van started going backwards, going towards, like going off of the bridge almost. I'm going to show you all this. I'm going to show you all this. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, the reason why this is pertaining to yesterday's sermon is because I had to praise God for his goodness. Even when times like this was going on, the way that God stopped that van and made it come to a rest, an abrupt stop before my family and I went over that bridge. If it wasn't for that iron or metal railing, and we came very close to it. You're gonna see. Like I said, I'm gonna post the video. You gonna see. But he was still good in that moment. So you gotta praise him, even when, not only in good times, but when times are bad. And believe me, when I say times are bad, let me tell you how bad these times were. This time right here was when he hit, when we were doing all of this, when we bouncing off the concrete and cars hitting us, my seat broke. The force was so hard, my seat broke, and it fell back into my mother-in-law's lap, and my headrest landed on her stomach with so much force that it ruptured her spleen. He hit us with so much force that the key in the ignition broke off in the ignition. He hit us so hard with so much force. My Craig David CD, who was one of my favorite artists, musical artists, my CD got stuck in the CD player. People, when my seat broke, and I just happened to fall back in my mother-in-law's lap, my eyes were closed. I was trying to go into the direction of the slide that we were going in, like they tell you to do in inclement weather, like snow, or if you hydroplane when it's raining, things like that. I was trying to go with the direction of the slide. But the problem with that is I couldn't do it because we were careening off of the median, the concrete median, and we were getting hit by cars at the same time. So we just on the bridge danced like the crazy part about it, Jessica. It was silence. I didn't hear if my wife was screaming or my mother-in-law or my daughter-in-law was screaming. I mean, daughter-in-law. If my stepdaughter was screaming, I don't know. All I can tell you was silence because when my seat broke, I could no longer guide the car, go in the direction of where we was going, because it was happening too fast and my eyes were closed. And all I could think in that moment was, this is how I'm going to die. I always wondered how I was going to leave this world, and I'm about to experience now. I'm in the middle of it right now. And my wife was trying to kick the window out because she felt we were about to go in that river backwards and pummel into the St. Johns River. And our baby girl, how old? I mean, she was what? I don't almost. Yeah, she was 2. She wasn't even 3 yet. She was almost 2. I mean, she was 2, almost 3, and she was in her car seat. My wife says all she could think about was my baby's in that car seat and we're about to go into this river. I gotta get out. When I tell you all, that was by far, and I can share with you, I've almost been um, killed in different car wrecks. I've been uh, at before, and I can honestly tell you that this was the most scariest moment I have ever experienced, as far as being in a car and coming facing death myself. The crazy thing about this is that when I lived in Jacksonville, all those years prior to when I lived in Jacksonville, this bridge was always terrifying to me because back then in the early 2000s, it's fixed now, but back then in the early 2000s and before that, earlier than that, when you got to the top of that bridge, it was a metal grating on there, right? Because at one point the bridge opened up so ships could go through. That was, through on the river, right? Uh, Hold on, I'm missing some of your comments. I'm sorry. Let me see. Jessica says, "Were y'all screaming?" Oh yeah, I answered that. Were y'all screaming? Okay. Michelle says, "I thought we were going over into the water. I tried to kick my window out and it wasn't working." Yes, yeah, I remember that. Jessica says, "Or stunned silence." Yeah, stunned silence. Stunned silence. Absolutely. Michelle says, "We all came out walking by God's grace. Other than my mom, she had to go to the hospital." Yes. Just saying says to Michelle, "You all had a guardian angel with you that day." Yeah, absolutely. Just saying, we really did. Now, and like she was saying, we all walked out of that except for her mother. But the thing about it, when we finally came to rest and stop, and I felt I was able to get out the car, I immediately started walking back down the bridge. I'm trying to find out who did this. Well, in the beginning, let me start off by saying, let me go back, because in the beginning I thought maybe the tire, because for some reason the tire pressure was low, but I figured it was okay. So I'm thinking that the tire popped or blew, and that's what was causing it in the beginning. And then when I got out, and got my wherewithal and saw everything was going on, I started walking back down the bridge, because you got to understand there was cars behind us that was wrecked too. He had caused all of this damage. And so I'm going back there and I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, who just hit us? Who caused this? I was angry. My adrenaline was, I'm very protective of my family too. So that was like, I was really, and so I seen one guy. He was sitting, his car was wrecked too, and he was leaning against the guardrail thing. He was sitting on the guardrail thing. And I'm yelling at everybody that's outside of their car because their cars have been wrecked. I'm like, "You did this? You did this?" Like, But then One guy, he shook his head like he must, and he must have been shook by it too, because the way he looked when he was shaking his head and he looked down, I think he was just thankful to be alive as well, which is I can overstand. I can overstand. But he told me, he shook his head no, and then he pointed at this guy that was laying on the ground. And when I walked up to the guy that he said caused all of this, and it almost unalived my family and I got up on him while he's laying down, and I wanted, how can I say this and be TikTok safe? Let's just say I wanted to let him know just how angry I was at him in a physical way. How about that? But I didn't. I didn't. I noticed when I looked down, his leg, the guy's leg was going one way, and now I wish I would have stumped on that. But anyways, his leg was going one way. No, I don't, Lord. You working on me? No, I don't. I handled it just like I should have handled it. Um, when I looked down at him, his leg was going straight, right? But his foot was turned this way, right? It completely out. Just saying, says you wanted to let out all your frustration. Yes, yes, because uh, you, Michael says aggressive behavior. That's exactly what I wanted to demonstrate. Yes, you both were right, because this man literally almost took our lives. It's not like we were out being bad. It wasn't like we was part of the accident that happened prior to or anything like that. And the thing about it, which I left out, and I don't even know how I done this, because my wife and I are shell shocked from this night and for this moment, by this happening. So I remember how I told you all that I was in the outside lane, and then I got over in the left hand lane on the inside by the concrete median. Well, after I had gotten over, I shift lanes to the left, and we were still going up that bridge. This white car flew past us right on my right side in that outside lane, and I looked over and saw the car zip by, and I started to say, "Why are they driving so fast on the bridge?" I didn't get to finish. By the time I got brick, is when that boom happened, and we went to hitting everything on top of the bridge. So, what do you know? This show is going to be over sooner than I thought. But so I bring this up because even though I was praising God and thanking God for the opportunity that He given me just mere hours before, just one, just my well, I'm talking. You talking about with us in our party? It was just my mother-in-law. Collectively, it was a few people went to the hospital. I know he went. Um, the guy who caused it. My mother-in-law. There was a female there saying she was complaining about her neck hurt. I don't say she was complaining. That sounds bad. She said her neck was hurting, and but I'll tell you this: the guy who drove the record truck to come and get the van off the bridge, he just stood there. Am I lying, babe? He just stood there looking at our van, and he looked at us and said, "Y'all had angels with y'all." Those were his words. Yeah. Oh, nobody was deleted. No. That's a good thing. And again, that shows even in the bad, God was there. He was still good. Because I'm trying to tell you, people, the way we were hit and the way we were going all around that bridge, at the top of that bridge, and we were in that van, there's no way I should be sitting here talking to you right now. There's no way my wife should be in this live messaging you all. But it's by God's grace and mercy. So you even had to praise Him then. Hey, Sharita, how you doing? We had to praise Him even in that moment. But you know, that same person, the same guy that I told you on that promotion, Champ 7 Pro Wrestling, Thunderbolt Hamilton. Shout out to you, Uncle Larry, because even when we were going through that, this man came over to where we were staying. 'Cause we stayed with our cousin, God rest his soul. I mean, her soul, the one that's passed away. He came over there and he took money out of his pocket to give to us because he knew that we weren't planning on that. He knew what situation we were in and he just wanted to help. That was the godly part of him. And to this day, I thank him for that. I thank him for that. He was touched. He was hurt. And then the wrestling community, when word got out what had happened, when word got out that we were in a bad car accident on the Matthews Bridge in Jacksonville, Florida, the outpouring from the wrestling community to my family was uncanny. Like this, I never even imagined. In fact, there was a family who surprised me and my tag team partner. They're fans of ours here in Georgia. But they didn't tell us anything before the show. They drove all the way down to Jacksonville, Florida to come support us at our debut on national television for this promotion. Surprised us completely. But when word got back, everybody was praying. I mean, Facebook was going crazy with everybody praying and just lifting us up and they were worried and things of that. And it was just a beautiful thing. But once again, Psalms 107. Praise God in his for his goodness in good and bad times. Do you all know that after this accident, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office were trying to blame us and say that we caused the accident? They had the whole accident report written up and it was not even close to being right. I don't know what they were doing. And then because we were at this point, that was our vehicle. That was our personal vehicle. So now we're stuck without a car 6 hours away from home. So we were stranded in Jacksonville. Like I said, luckily we got to stay with my cousin, God rest her soul. But we stayed with her for the week. And so we are dealing with these people, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and we're trying to call them like, hey, you got the accident report wrong. You gotten it to where you wrote it up to where we started the accident. We're not responsible for the accident. We almost died in the accident. We were minding our own business during this time. What do you mean? And so we're trying to call and tell them, hey, you all got to rewrite this report. You got it all wrong. And the officer was dodging our phone call. He wasn't getting back to us. Nothing was going on. And then finally everything, got worked out. But the fact of the matter of it is that they didn't even take the time to do their due diligence and writing the report. My wife's boss, Lord, we love her. Lord knows we love her. But my wife's boss was more concerned with when she was going to get back to work. How long she was going to miss work. We almost died, people. After the show, I'm going to show you. I'm going to post the pictures. I'm going to post the video. We almost died. When I post the video, I want you all to pay close attention to just how close we were from going off the top of that bridge. Mere inches. And she's worried about when my wife was going to come back to work, how many days she was going to miss. Don't get me wrong. She's a great woman. We love her. That wasn't the time. And on top of that, my wife, her mom is in the hospital having to have emergency surgery because, as I told you, it ruptured her spleen. So we have all of this going on. There's some things that came up and me and my wife was at odds. I was not pleased with her. And so all these things were going, it's like our entire lives. It was like the devil had just came on us and took us through there. But even in this bad time, God's goodness prevailed. JJ Jones said people don't care about humans anymore, just profits. Yeah, and I felt that way, and I was so angry by that. You are so right. You are so right on what you're saying. I was so mad. Like, babe, you almost died. You almost not been able to go to work ever again. Does that? What do you what? You know? Michelle says she has to have a. Oh, she had to have a colon. I don't resection as well. See, like it's a lot of stuff was going on that just it wasn't the time to worry about when she was gonna make it back to work. Jessica says, and just because y'all were okay physically, that don't think they don't think about what it did to you mentally. Right, 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 Jessica. And in fact, like I was saying, like right now, to this very moment, to right now, if we are out driving and a white or silver car speeds passes, instant shell shock. Instant shell shock. It takes us right back to that night. Yeah, she's still working there. She's still working there. I don't know. Did she ever apologize to you? I'm not sure. Jessica says PTSD. Yes, in the worst way. Like in it's I can't even describe how we tense up. And now we going out because you if you follow and those of you that's friends with me on here now you know you'll see us. We go places a lot. So but like when we go on vacations or out of town and stuff, and we got to go over a bridge. Talk about nerve wracking. We squeeze the steering wheel so tight, our hands and fingers actually cramp up from it. And Chef said, I can't remember, but it's whatever. Just saying, it says she should have, because that was not the time. Exactly. It was not. It was not. It should have been what you need. You know, like I said, she's a great woman. Great woman. Love her. Love her with everything we got. But yeah, Jessica White says all the windows go down immediately. Yeah, yeah, because it's a scary thing. Once you've been in that situation, you never forget it. You just never forget it. And even when we went to the salvage yard to get our the belongings we could get out of the van, because a lot of stuff that was in the back, as you can see, we couldn't get out because the whole back was smashed in, so we couldn't get that out. But even when we went to the salvage yard and saw the van and get our stuff out, just to see the van, and you're gonna see the pictures too. Um, it was breathtaking. Like we walked away from that. We were in that. Yo, that's nothing but God. That's nothing but God. I mean, because like I said, there was no way we should have. There's no other explanation for us not to be unalive. Like we should have been unalived in that. That's just this. You got to not only hitting, not only the impact of him hitting us, but the impact of hitting the concrete median multiple times, and and when you bounce off the median, we got hit by cars. You're gonna see the damage on the van. This is just the back. You're gonna see the damage. Like we was careening off everything on top of that bridge, and so it can't be anything but God and angels that made it possible for us to be here today. Everybody in that van is alive, and so I want to praise God and thank Him for His goodness, because Lord knows He saved us. He kept us here. He wasn't finished with us. He knew we still had work to do for Him. Yes, Georgia Peach, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. And so a lot of times when we think about that, it causes problems mentally, just like you were saying. it's a shell shock thing. I even go back to when um, I was working for Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, and I was a courier. So I would go to the different locations here in Atlanta, pick up people taxes, and bring it back to the main office for them to get done and stuff like that. And I remember I was going towards Bankhead, and this juvenile had stolen a car, a Viper, and his initiation was to wreck the car. And as we were at the top of the hill, me and my older kids, my oldest daughter's mom, and my oldest daughter was in the car too with my sister, my little sister. But when we was coming down the hill, I saw two cars parked on the opposite side of the road to the side. And then all of a sudden, I seen this red car pop out from between them going fast. And I could see him fishtailing, but before I knew it, he had wrecked into us. And again, we were in a higher up in the van, in the Astro van, but he knocked us from the inside lane all the way up against the fence where Bowen Homes was. It was like a projects in Atlanta, but in the Bowen Homes, he knocked us all the way over there. And my head hit the windshield and knocked me out. I was unconscious. When I came to, I couldn't feel my leg. My oldest daughter, her mother was like, "Get out the car, baby. We gotta get out the car. The car's gonna blow up. We gotta get out." And I was like, I can't. I can't move my legs. I can't feel my legs. Luckily, it came back to me. We jumped out the window. But by the time we got out, they had already pulled the teenager out of that car, out of the Viper, and drove him off. All I could see was blood from him in the middle of the street. But they had already taken him away. And then the officer, the officer that showed up on the scene, he came with one of his homeboys in the car while he was on duty. Nothing happened. He wrote something on paper, but it wasn't. I mean, nothing happened. And then the people, I mean, I'm not gonna say here in Atlanta. Just it happens here in Atlanta. I'm sure it happens everywhere when something like this happened. But people who lived in Bowen Homes, they would come out and they was giving their account on what happened and stuff like that. Um, and like I said, he jotted stuff down, but I don't think he really was concerned about the accident that happened. He was more concerned about getting back with his people that came to the accident scene. Where I've never known a cop to ride around while on duty with his homie in the car with him. Anyway, I've never seen anything like that. But that's what happened, right? And so there was nothing done. We just got here. But in Atlanta, it was this was the '90s, and that's how that goes, I guess. But hey, Bestie, how you doing? Talking with JoJo. Thank you for the rose. I came back and do the second show. Oh, I want to talk to you too. I haven't finished, but I'm watching the what you told me to watch on Tubi. I got a theory on that. Oh yeah, thank you for the roses. You are amazing. Thank you, Bestie. From that wreck though, from being hit head on, from that teenager stealing that Viper and doing that initiation. Hey, good morning, Demetrius. How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining. Okay, we'll get together and do that for sure. Or I could talk about it on here after this. You want me to talk about it on here? How you want to? Are you here, or do you got to go? Um. So now when I'm driving and I'm like, there's a car coming at me, I look at the tires. If I see that tire come close to that yellow line, I'm freaking out. Okay, 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 okay. Because I can tie this up right now. So here's what and that's that story, people. That's Psalm 107. All right, praise God for His goodness in good and bad times. He brought me, my family, and I out of this car accident right here. And Lord knows we shouldn't be here, but He did that because He put His grace and mercy on us, and He wasn't done with us yet. And remember, after the show, I'm going to post the pictures and I'm going to post the video. As well, it'll be two separate posts, but I'm going to do pictures and do the video. Okay. Bestie, I want to talk to you real quick before I close the show about that. So here's what I was watching it, and I think I don't think I don't think Suge is in on the actual unaliving of Pop. I think Suge was covering up because he knew he was on probation for other stuff, and he didn't want that to get brought up and violate his probation. But who I do think is responsible for it, Bestie, is Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. And I think he did that because he was in his feelings. Because I don't know if they mentioned it. 'Cause I didn't finish it all. Let me say that I didn't finish it all. I didn't finish it all, but I think he was hurt or in his feelings. Yeah, yeah, Reggie, and this is why I say Reggie, Bestie. You right. The police was in on it, but Reggie worked with the police. Remember, Reggie and his dad were officers, police officers in Los Angeles, and so if anybody had ties or working with the police department, it was Reggie, right? Like he was the common link because he was an officer. Plus, he was doing security at Death Row. Now, I think you. Oh, you can you come up? Can you come up, Bessie? Okay. Okay. Good. 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 Good idea.
Hey,
Hey, gorgeous. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good now. I'm doing much better. Better than I was that first show.
Oh, I know. Happy Monday. I don't know how it is
Yes.
down by you, but over here it is miserable, raining, windy, yuck.
Yeah, I was watching your news this morning. Yeah, y'all are going through it. It was raining this
Yep.
morning, but now it's gonna be sunny.
Oh, lucky you. I'm jealous.
Yeah, you gotta come on down here sometime.
I will. My aunt and my cousin live down there. So when I get down there, I will
Make
let
sure.
you know.
I'm about to say, make sure you let me know.
I absolutely will. This
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
very interesting theory you're coming up with. Reggie is part of the documentary. I don't know if you got to that part yet,
Hmm.
but he is part of it. And yeah, I mean, I can see that. I didn't know Suge was on probation at the time of Tupac's unaliving. I thought that was done, but I could be wrong. Um, so you're thinking it's Reggie, but do you still think there's the puffy jacket tie?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But see, and that's when you said, do I, because your the poll was, do you believe that Suge and Puffy Jacket were in on both unalive?
Hmm.
And I said no. I believe, and the reason I said no to your poll is because I think Puffy Jacket is responsible for both.
Yeah. I mean,
You see,
now that you've said that about Reggie, that kind of clears some stuff up for me, that questions that I had with Suge. So, yeah, I mean, I can ascribe to your theory because it makes sense.
yeah, and the reason why I say I think Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. did that is because you remember Tupac fired him via Federal Express. He sent him a FedEx letter firing him from being his security guard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And and just from listening and to watching videos of Reggie Wright, he seems like that person that didn't get invited to the party,
But wanted
but
an invitation.
yeah, and he go back and tell people that didn't go stories, and but he would put himself as if he was at the party.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm thinking he was. And I could be wrong. This just is my theory. I'm thinking that he was butthurt that Tupac fired him, and in order to get him back, or I guess since he said he didn't want his, wanted him securing him anymore, he told, was it Michael Moore is his name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Michael Moore and Franklin. What's his name? Is it Kevin Franklin? Keith Franklin? Oh, the other security guard.
Yes. I can't remember his name offhand either. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't. Oh, Frank Alexander. Frank Alexander. That's it. Um, he told them not to bring their, you know, and then they were saying it wasn't commonplace for Reggie Wright to be at the club, but this particular night he was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just factoring all of this together. What's the timing of, okay, Pac fires him from being a security guard because he didn't like him, and then Suge saying, "Well, I told Reggie to put more security on Pac, but Reggie didn't do what he was told to do."
Right.
And then you have it to where Reggie is going and saying that, I think it was Michelle A, where he was trying to take over the building and stuff like that, or some of Suge's stuff.
Right.
He just seems like he's not. I think it feels like he's got a part to do with this. He played a major part in it.
Gotcha. I mean, I think the thing for me is it's just so crazy that both of these artists wanted to leave their respected record companies, right? And go out on their own.
Hmm.
And it's like this really strange sense of allegiance and loyalty to those
Hmm.
two record producer owners
Hmm.
that you could never leave, or you're violating a code and putting your life at risk. That's terrible. Hey, Jessica. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Hey, good morning.
Good
Good
morning. Good
morning.
morning.
I was in your live the past, I think it was the past 2 days. I don't know if you've seen me. You had the
You
little
talking to
poll
me?
there. No, her.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm so glad. I remember seeing you once. I don't know if I saw you the second time. Sometimes and when I get into my stories and talking, and TikTok for some reason is filtering out a lot of comments in the chat. I don't know if you're finding that, Mr. B, but
Hmm.
I am
I
too.
am.
It's
Hmm.
happening. That's crazy that you said that because it's happening in a lot of chats that I go into. Not with just me, not with like mine.
Oh, we just lost
What
her.
happened?
She might have accidentally bumped herself out.
Okay. Let me see if I can send her a request because she was in the middle of something. We're gonna okay, there it is.
There she is. We lost
No,
her.
it said creator disconnected you.
No,
That's
and I
okay.
didn't. I didn't touch nothing.
That's what it said. I don't know.
It was
Um,
right on cue. Hey, Zay.
but they were saying how they were having issues with comments being filtered. Um, so that is happening all over, apparently. What I was going to say is I missed the name. I remember you two talking about that, and you were telling him to watch that documentary,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
but I don't. And I noticed someone else in the chat said, "What doc is this?"
Tupac Cover Up. It's on
Okay.
Tubi. So if you have the Tubi app, it's free to watch. You can easily download the app, and there
Okay.
is so much on that app with so much information. I'm doing a JFK deep dive. Oh my gosh. The amount of information, docu-series, movies, it's
Is
unbelievable.
Tubi
And it's all up
free?
on Tubi. Yeah, it's free to use.
Mhm.
I mean, if you want to join premium and not have commercials, of course you have to pay like any other app, but otherwise it's free.
I'll take commercials. Even though I don't like them, I'll take them. It's a
Those in
rough
the
time
live,
right
please
now.
gift and uplift. Those in the live, please gift and uplift.
Um, but what I was going to say with the what man, now I forget the guy's name.
Take your time.
Suge.
Hmm.
I I mean, if you knew that you were driving somebody that was in the front seat, in the passenger seat, and you were in the driver's seat, and you have put this hit out, and you know it's going to happen, I would not even trust a
Hmm.
trained military sniper to not miss in a moving car. And, you know, like I would be afraid.
I see what you're saying.
Like, and for him not to, like for your, to say yes to doing something like that, I think that I don't know. I
You
just,
saying the risk is too big?
yeah,
Yeah.
because you
I
would be
mean, there
showing
is a
life.
big
I
risk.
mean,
I don't disagree with that. The way it's explained, the way it's been explained in the past is that Suge knew when it was happening, so I guess he knew to be in the right spot at the right time. Um, but you're right. I mean, I know I wouldn't trust that either.
Yeah,
right.
I'm like, I'm not going.
But I mean, so there is, I don't know if this is in that. I'm gonna write this documentary down really quick.
It's really good.
You said it was called.
Tupac Cover Up. It's a 6 doc series. They're about 40 minutes each, right, Mr. B? The
Yeah.
episodes.
Hmm.
And, you know, a lot of it, they interview a lot of past retired LAPD ex-officers who show a very clear link between
Yes, I
them
was
and
gonna
Vero Records.
say
Yeah.
Hmm.
that as well as the officer. He was in cahoots with them. With I don't know if we can. I mean, we can. Yes, because it's all over everywhere with Diddy and um he was, I don't know if he was on Diddy's payroll.
You
Like,
never know. I mean, that could very well
Well,
be.
well, yeah, I mean, he does have officers that were on his payroll.
Right. If you remember correctly, the other night we talked about Derek. Oh, I never
Yeah,
remember.
who's in,
Derek
yep, who's
Smith.
in jail now.
Right. And
hmm
he has, you know, thanks to Kadisha, who's awesome. She
She
yes.
brought
is.
up, yeah, she is. She brought up the 3 affidavits, which I was going to bring them up myself, but they were like $50 online. I'm like, no, I don't make that much on TikTok yet. No.
Right.
Kim's book is one thing, but no, not that.
The lawyer, the
So,
Right.
judge, and the officer, right?
yeah.
Yes.
They
Hmm.
all came forward and said yes, that they all, like, that's corrupt. That is so far beyond corruption.
Hmm.
That just shows that if they want you guilty, you're guilty. It doesn't matter. I mean, they're if like, even though you're not, they're gonna find a way to make you gone. If the jury says no, you're gonna end up deleted anyway.
Yeah.
I believe
Hey,
it.
true.
I mean, and to just now, I mean, I guess I'm 37. Wait, yeah, 37. I'll be 38 in less than a month, but
Mhm.
that's crazy. I'm not even that old to be forgetting how old I am.
It happens to the best.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, they, what was I saying? Dang.
About you could be. They're gonna make you guilty if they want to,
Oh, right.
Yes.
regardless
But
of the evidence.
with the payroll, um, so that was, and they've had it in the past as well as now, like as up to current, because he was paying officers to come to these parties, and it would show like his dominance, like show like, look, you can't go to the
Hmm.
officers because they're on my side.
Right.
Correct.
You're
So
right on that.
um so even up to this trial now, so I think that, what's his name, Edward, or what you said,
Which one?
for Pox unaliving.
Oh, Reggie the Rat Wright
Reggie,
Jr. Yeah.
yes. I believe, because he was the officer, right?
He was an officer. Him and his father
His father,
were
yeah,
LA police officers.
yeah. I think, I don't know if he specifically did it, but I think if he didn't, he definitely knows who did, and that whole department probably honestly knows. Well,
Oh
did
yeah,
know from
absolutely.
back in the day. Now they probably keep it under the rug, I guess, because a lot of people loved Pac and still do, and they don't want to hear that. But apparently, I don't know. You say you watch Kadisha, so you would one of the one of the uh, it's not, it is a lawsuit, but uh it's like a statement, but it has a word, for what it's submitted as. But
Mhm.
the girl woke up after, everything, and was upset and had said, she wanted out of there. She said that Puffy and I can't remember who the other guy was. I think, man, I don't know. Went outside, smoked a cigarette, and she wanted to get out of the house. She was trying to grab her clothes. Christina was like,
A- Ashley Parham, is that who you're talking about?
Ashley, who?
Parham.
Oh, Christina Karum, you mean?
Christina is
Oh,
the
The
Christina.
doctor.
Christina.
COO. Yeah. You were close.
Um,
You
Okay.
were
Okay.
close, Mr. B. There's a lot of names involved in this.
I don't know.
Yeah, it
So
is.
I know she was like, Christina was, that's what I was saying. Christina was trying to like calm her down, but I don't know who this girl is. But apparently, when Puffy got wind that she was trying to rush out, she went to leave. He started threatening her. And
Hmm.
then he made the mistake, like the guy that was there was with him was a friend of his, um, who may have been in the act as well. I don't know. I can't remember what Kadisha said. But they made their way outside, and Puffy had said, you know, uh, she said something about going to the cops, and he said, um, it doesn't matter if you go to the cops, they're on my side. He said, uh, how you think I got rid of Pac? And the guy that is his friend then pulled out a GUN and said, and pointed at him and was like, "What the F did you just say?"
Hmm.
And and then Diddy's neighbor poked his head up over the fence and said, what's going on over here? Or is everything okay over here? And the guy had said something, might get down, mind your business. And the girl tried to grab the weapon, but she eventually just ran off. But yeah, that is the third time that he has said that he got away with getting Pac unalived.
Hmm.
So,
Okay, she's right. Okay, she's talking about. So the victim, Bessie, she's the victim is the alleged victim is
Hmm.
Ashley Parham. Remember when she said
Hmm.
the remote thing? This incident is what
Yes.
happened afterwards. Okay, I'll follow
Yes.
her now. Yeah.
oh, that's the victim's name. See, I couldn't
Hmm.
remember who
There's
it
so many
was.
of them, it's hard to keep
Right,
track.
Right, right. You are so not wrong. we,
right.
I have to go
me and
back and make
Bestie
a
get it.
list sometimes of who I'm going to talk about because there's just so many of them. I try and always pick the ones I try and when I do my Diddy stuff,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
try and make sure that for the week I've gotten, you know,
Familiarize with it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So then like or I'll like sum it up.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's the best way to do it.
Yep. Yep.
You know.
Oh, and see, now I remember what I was saying when I said my age. I was like, it's crazy now to think back of it about everything. And like, I'm just now awakening at 38 years old
Yeah.
to everything. Like, the corruption of like, down to every, I don't know. It's just I can't even explain it because it's a lot and I didn't know. So it's a lot to have taken in. And it wasn't, it had started before this case, but this case really brought it on.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Like I
opened my
said
eyes
last
a
year,
lot more.
last year I think there was a good amount of us of like the X generation who had decided that I know I was one of those people. We need to speak on some things because the generations below us, they're confused. They're blaming us for things that weren't necessarily our fault. We coddled them a little bit too much. I know I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Me too.
so a lot of us have come on to social media, built platforms to bring clarity to these kinds of things so the younger generations after us have some understanding. I know that's why I do what I do
Right. I'm
because,
with you.
yeah, yeah, because, after we're gone, it'll still be there. So our children, our grandchildren, and generations after them will be able to understand our point of view and where we were coming from because we're able to have these platforms. So,
Absolutely.
like in terms of, you lose, like I lost my father. I have more questions after he passed than when he was here, so at least my grandchildren will be able to go up and go, you know what? Wow. All right. So grandma thought this way about this or this way about that. So I'm glad, Jessica, that that is bringing you awareness as someone who is about 15 years younger than myself.
Yeah.
Because that's important. That I know that's exactly what Mr. B and I aim to do almost on a daily basis is to bring
Absolutely.
awareness.
That's all it's about.
And
Yes,
is it true we all drank from a garden hose? We did.
we
We
did.
did.
I did.
Hey, look, and didn't want to come in. We wanted to stay outside and play all day.
Exactly.
Right. And
You
we
know.
weren't on phones or Xboxes or PlayStations.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm.
We had our
Right.
friends on our bikes.
Right.
That's it. That's
Right.
it. But to your point, too, talking with JoJo, I feel that the thing with us is we lived in these times when these people were big and prominent and like we
Exactly.
you see and so and to your point, Jessica, with us,
Nintendo and Atari.
Oh
Michelle.
yes, I loved my Atari.
yeah. Now hold on, yeah, Atari was yeah,
Atari
absolutely.
was the best.
That was the
we
first one, right?
cut some
Yes, I think
ColecoVision
so.
and Atari, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like the first two, and then Nintendo came out.
Yeah.
And then Sega after that.
Yep.
Um,
Sega. Oh my
we
God.
feel a sense of okay, we were living back then. We thought this one way. We didn't know all the corruption was going on. Yeah, there could have been some things of people say, but back then we didn't have social media like we have now. And by us doing this kind of things,
Odyssey.
Bestie, like you said, our grandkids and their kids and great grandkids and stuff, they can go back now, even when we have been called to the home on high, they can go back and see the work that you and I've done and say, oh, like you said, okay, to our point, my grandmother stood for this or my great grandmother stood for this. Okay, I see the point of view she was coming from. Now going forward, we bless them with the knowledge of being able to look at something differently and be able to pick it out. Whereas I like to tell some of my kids now, like you guys got it easy You can just pick up your phone or get on the computer and go look for. We actually had to get out and go seek what we were looking for and do the legwork and the investigation of trying to find out what we were trying to find out.
Oh,
Right.
for sure. I mean, I'll tell you guys a story outside of Puffy Jacket that I found so interesting. I was away for work and I was in an area where my father's cousin, his first cousin, lived. And I always go see her when I'm in this area. And we went out to dinner one night and she told me this story about my grandmother that I never knew. And the story was she was in high school. And this was before she met my grandfather. She had a boyfriend and she wanted to marry him. So the boyfriend's mother said, for some reason, she didn't like my grandmother, said to this young man, if you don't propose to Joe, she was a Joe too, if you don't propose to Joe, I will buy you a car. So my grandmother got dumped. She was heartbroken. The man gets the car. He's unalived in a car accident exactly a year later.
Wow.
Isn't that
Dang.
crazy? I never knew it.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, yeah, when grandma's boyfriend was unalived in that car. And I'm like, wait a minute.
She said, "Go back, go back, go back."
What are you talking about?
Yeah, let's not just skim past that. What?
So I'm like, you
That's
know what?
crazy.
I want to leave my stories out there. So if anybody wants to know anything, all they have to do is watch it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's you because you brought up a valid point, and I think about it too. Like, there's so many questions that you have to ask your father and me, my father and my mother, that we didn't when they were here, and now that they're gone, it's like, well, hey, I didn't think about it then, but now I need to know what's this about. What and
Yeah.
so we'll have it
Yeah.
out here for them.
Yeah. Yeah. A
So,
lot of my questions, at least for those that have passed before me, like especially for my dad, really revolve around Vietnam. And yeah, he was drafted into Vietnam. And he was active combat. He was a combat tracker. So he trained the dogs in the army. And we were never allowed to ask about the experience because it was something that you just didn't talk about when you were kids. But I'm watching all this JFK stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh. Now, my dad was drafted in 1968, served a year and a half in South Vietnam. According to Kennedy's plan, the United States was supposed to be out of Vietnam no later than 1965.
Mm,
So I'm like, yeah, no, think
okay.
about that.
Right, right. There's something to that right there. Why is that 3 year gap right there? Well, I mean, what's going on in that window?
hmm Because Kennedy was unalived. Lyndon took over, Johnson took over, and for some reason, I mean, they always say American economy is best when they're at war. They kept it
Yeah.
going. They kept it going.
yeah, I mean, in the thing that they were stating that who was it Johnson that was in front of Kennedy before Kennedy?
After Kennedy. Before Kennedy was Eisenhower.
Eisenhower, yeah. So
hmm
Eisenhower made that speech. Well, it's kind of like uh, I don't know. It is talking about the military industrial complex or something like that. And he's talking, they wanted war. They wanted to have a war. He didn't want to stop the war.
Right. But he wanted, in Vietnam, he felt that if the South Vietnamese people were going to welcome a communistic regime, do what the people want to do. So, America, at that point in time, they started with, I believe it was 700 troops, but only to provide technical assistance, support, and training. Then Kennedy upped it to, I believe, 27,000 troops. Again, for that reason, no active combat was supposed to ever be had.
Right.
And then by 1965, they were supposed to be done. So that was very eye opening for me. when I saw when I read that information.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. It seems like there was some inner workings going on that was almost like this. Like it was shady business going on that
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
continued the war.
Candace, do y'all ever watch Candace Owens?
Yes.
No, yeah, I don't watch it.
I know you don't. I do watch her.
Um, oh, are you talking like politically?
Yeah, I just she's yeah. I can't. Never
No,
mind.
I'm
Keep
not.
going.
So I'm not talking politically.
I'm not either. I talk for all points of view.
Yeah,
That's how
okay.
I view Candace. Yeah.
She like how she broke down the Brigitte Macron um is really which who the president of France,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel Macron.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Um, that's really his father
Huh?
that he's married to, Brigitte.
Wait a minute,
Yes,
I missed something. I think I went
yes.
start over one more again. Say it one more time. Okay.
Run that
Oh,
one
What did
by
you
us
say?
again.
Yeah.
so and it's true. Like you can go on YouTube and watch. Actually, no, you can't. You'd have to go onto her actual website. They took them down. Um, so Emmanuel Macron, which is the president of France,
France. Hmm.
is married to Brigitte Macron. Brigitte, but her okay. So that is really his father. She is trans.
Hmm. Yeah. Transformer.
Uh-huh. And she many of people have tried, over there in France, well, and other places, but a lot in uh France, they have tried to journalists have tried to, just get a background on Brigitte because there's no photos of her. There's no photos from when she was a kid, when she was a younger woman, no photos at all until she falls in love. She was apparently married, had 3 kids. She becomes a teacher, a drama teacher at this school. And that's where she found Emmanuel Macron at 14 years old and started having a relationship.
Now, Jessica, I can honestly say that you deserve the of the day because I didn't know that. You just put me on to something.
Me
And
neither. Wow.
yes, so, and he has sent her legal letters to like saying, you're wrong on this. And she broke it down. She was like, okay, you're saying I'm wrong on this, but why are you not answering if she was born male or female? And then as she started digging more and more, like she gave them 20 questions to answer, and there was no response. When he came over, Emmanuel Macron came over to meet with President Trump, he opened up a like a not PR, but like a crisis team to to pretty much like for the French. Like he didn't need to. We don't need that over here. He did it. And what they did is they got a hold of TikTok and she's almost banned from TikTok now. And they took those videos off. Then they got through to YouTube.
One moment, Jacqueline. Hmm.
got YouTube's videos off. She does have a few on YouTube, but the series I think is only, it's like a 4-part series, and that's it. But the evidence and everything, and she speaks to the journalist, like has interviews with the journalists that have been doing this for 15 plus years on Macron and that side of the family.
Y-
Uh,
You said this is Candace Owens.
yep. And she does have her own website. So if you go to TikTok and you pull up her links or something, I think it's like you'll see one that says like CandaceOwens.com. And when you go there, you can see, that's where I would go if I were you, because it does break it down um, in order of the way that you need to watch the part 1, part 2, part 3. But this apparently is very, very popular in France. It's popular in their culture, not popular to us. They not, I don't want to say popular. It's just,
Got it.
it was very popular and it has gone away. And now there was a lot of inbreeding and, well, incest and things like that a while, like years and years ago. And and you know, obviously you're not supposed to touch minors, so it became easier to touch your child, you know, in the home. And then that, like, that's literally exactly what happened. She is not a she. And she kind of eventually told on herself by they had a doctor in 2023 that Mr. Macron awarded, kind of like what we would award, kind of like the Medal of Honor. Like he was given this award, and his quote is, "Women's flesh, ideal clay." And that's how she was able to find this doctor, Candace Owens. And his specialty
Mm,
is trans
forming.
to make
Former.
to make the facial features softer
Well, I just
for
see the two
tra-
videos, so you're right on that.
and the picture that they show is Brigitte sitting on her mom's lap. If you look over, no, you can tell the boy standing up
Mhm.
has Brigitte's mouth. Like it is, like that's the only pictures like of a young child that we have of her. Um, so yeah, it's it was something, but so that's why I said it's this. When I say Candace Owens, it's not political. It's just that, so
Yeah.
she's doing a lot of these things,
Well, no,
breaking down.
I appreciate this. I don't mind. I'll watch this. I'll definitely watch it. Like I said, I didn't know anything about this,
Please
so I have
do.
to
I
thank
mean
you for
it. I
letting me
mean, you will be flabbergasted, and like it's and the fact that she is saying to them, I want the lawsuit. Bring the lawsuit on, because there you can't, there's nothing, then everything is out. So if there was nothing to hide, you would have sued me. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm here in Tennessee, and we don't play that here. No one touch. We don't like people that touch kids, you know, kitty
Right.
kitty diddlers or something like that. And
Kitty,
so she said
how,
something like that, and
how
she's
appropriate
like,
right now.
and then to be the father, like he doesn't. So many journalists have picked this up, and even people just around that, um, they'll ask a question like, "Oh, well, where does your sister live now?" And he looks to Brigitte to answer that. It's not Brigitte's sister, it's your sister. Why are you looking? But one, it's
Yeah.
confirmation. That's really his father. So it's still
It's
parental
telling.
guideline, like I don't know if, but I don't want to give it all away.
It's okay.
Um,
I'm gonna watch it. I got it pulled up now. I'm gonna watch it for sure. I just like I said, I didn't know, but I do thank you for bringing it to my attention as well as Bessie's attention because
yeah,
she said
and
she didn't know either.
Demetrius Constantine. No, if you don't believe it, please watch it. I
I'm
mean,
going
I
to.
encourage you to, if it's something out of what you actually like to watch, just step out and watch it. I mean, I mean,
Some of the best things have been discovered doing that when I do
right.
that.
I mean, I would have never, that's when and then I start, she's looking into, well, she already did it. She went in and she's doing, what is his name? Harvey Weinstein.
Hmm.
I that got
Yeah.
in jail or is put in jail for 20 some years.
Hmm.
Um, but it's really over one woman, and that it has come out to be a lie. He's being resentenced, but
Oh,
so I don't know if, but and then she was going to do the JFK files, and she wants to dig into the Idaho 4.
oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah, the unaliving of them.
yeah, but
Yeah.
she is, politics aside, she's good at finding the facts. Whatever her and her
I'm for
team or
that.
her journalistic brain is,
I'll do that. I'll take a look at that for sure. I promise you. In fact, 'cause it does seem interesting.
you don't
I
take
definitely will.
Candace Owens as a reliable source.
Huh? No.
Oh, I was,
Comment. I will. Okay. I will watch it, but just don't take Candace Owens as a reliable source. Well, and I think what and correct me if I'm wrong, Dimitri. Hold on 1 second. Before Demetrius, I'm gonna go back a little bit because Jacqueline asked what's the topic, and I told her, hold on, let me answer that, and then we're gonna work our way down to Demetrius. Okay. So Jacqueline, the topic was initially based off of um, the sermon from yesterday, which is from Psalms 107, and it's where um, here I'll tell you what we were doing so you can be with us. Psalms of Thanksgiving is urging people to praise God for His goodness and deliverance, particularly for rescuing those facing various hardships, and emphasizes the importance of acknowledging God's steadfast love. And so I took that from yesterday's sermon at church that we had at church, and I implemented it towards um, the car wreck here that me and my family were in, and I correlated it that way. Now we're talking, and then we went to who actually unalived, who we felt or is responsible for unaliving Pac, and we were saying and for those of you who just came in on Tubi, the Tubi app, which is free, go and watch Tupac Cover Up is the name of the documentary. It's like 6 episodes, each of them like 40, 45 minutes long. But we was talking about that, and now Jessica has turned us on to something that Candace Owens, the interview, was talking about. And how you pronouncing it? Because I said Bridget, and that's not it. It's Brigitte. How you pronounce
Brigitte.
Brigitte Macron, right? We were talking about that. Now, Demetrius, I think I shared that same when she brought it up and she said Candace Owens. I was like, nah, nah. But I think the problem with that is see when you come out and you speak a certain way or you say certain things, and then that could make people turn or not necessarily turn, but like n- not buy into what you're saying. But
That's why I immediately said not political,
yeah,
not
I was just gonna
political,
say that you put that
because
disclaimer out there. Yep.
I mean, she's doing, like I said, she just did Harvey Weinstein, and he's definitely been paying into the Democrats, and she's this Republican, Christian Republican woman, so it is just not, it's that is just journalism. These things that she is doing on the
What are you
documents,
talking with JoJo? Oh, there she go. Wait, no, I don't know what happened to talking with JoJo.
How you doing
she
today, sir?
Hey, how
she
you
had to
doing,
pause a
Demetrius?
second,
I'm
and
doing
then
great.
she came back and paused again. um
Well, if she comes back up, I'll bring her back up.
oh, she
Okay.
said sorry, got bumped off.
Oh, okay, I'll bring you back up now, Bestie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did that
All
to
right,
me
listen.
too.
I hear
I
what you
did
guys are
not.
saying about this. So, Brigitte,
Sorry.
whatever that lady's name is, about the conspiracy about her being this transformer, whatever you may occur to call
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
In my opinion, is that I don't put any facts into this. I think she's just an older lady that was attracted to a younger man, going through college and hooked up with him. And, now she's really old now. So she's at the age where she looks like starting to decrep morph into that mannish look. But,
Right. Thank you
in
for that
my
Harvey
opinion,
RB Big Daddy.
I think she is just a woman that, that's aging very badly, you know. But, I look at all this different conspiracy things also in my time. But my apparition or my understanding of this is that she is just a woman that's elderly, and all the other conspiracy things is just because of Macron and all his problems he's had throughout the years in France, and everybody's finding a loophole to get at him and go at his persona and him. That's what I see.
Hmm.
But but in another aspect, this is the same thing they did with Michelle. They're doing that with Michelle. The same
Yes.
scenario is being portrayed in that light. And I look at that, and then I say to myself, nah, I don't know. But I'll look at the documentaries, like I said, I'll research it and look at it and make my observation. I mean, I'll look at all the details. I go to UK News, look that up, and see what they say. I know two people were sued by her and going to trial and got charged for like
but
posting on this lady about that information. I
but
saw that.
not that, when the trial that they won
Yeah.
is not saying that, like, this is where this is why Candace wants them to go to trial, because what they tried that other person for was saying something in an article that wasn't true, like the person thought it was true, it was false, or it was a little off, like that's her brother. No, that's not, that's my cousin. And then they didn't, so when they say they won the trial, what did they win? They didn't win that Brigitte Macron is not a man. They didn't win that. They didn't even
I
fight
got you
that.
saying, but I just find it far fetched that for 71 years, it should have been hiding in a ghost outfit for all this many years, and nobody acknowledged that this was what it was. I
Well,
mean, it's been a
no,
long time, and all of a
like I
sudden now
said,
that all
this,
the turmoil is happening in France, this comes out of the blue that she's now a transformer, and that's what I get hard to believe. But I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying, but as far as I'm looking out at it, I'm just like, man, Candace Owens too. But with Candace Owens, she got a
Yeah.
whole
Right.
bunch of issues.
See, but
With
you
her,
guys
yeah,
got
she
to
ain't gonna get
remember
sued because she's
something.
in America.
This is
Yeah.
Jojo. I have to say this.
Yeah.
Candace Owens does more than political stuff, right? If you've ever watched the Stephen Avery docuseries that she does, she literally turns that crime on its ear
yeah, I mean, she's very,
with
very
a
good
lot
with
of
that.
evidence. Like there's true crime stuff that she does that I do enjoy,
And And
actually, because some of it you're like,
Nancy Grace.
wow,
You
I
yes,
said
didn't know
Steve
that.
Avery,
that's why I was
Bestie.
Yes.
saying, like, you have
Making
to
a
actually
murderer.
watch it because I know it's 3 videos. There's one called Becoming Brigitte, and then, or at least how it was set up on YouTube, the Becoming Brigitte was on there. And then on the playlist, the other ones were separate. But so just watch them all. And I mean, it's gonna blow your mind. But also, this wasn't, people have been um, investigating her for years,
I
Um,
got it.
like it not just now. Um, and they would never get an answer. They would never get an answer.
Okay. All right,
So you're saying,
I'm gonna peep it out. I'm gonna check it out
yeah,
and
And
see.
I don't want to give too much away because I really do want you to watch it. I sent you a friend request too,
Okay.
I haven't pulled up both of them, the Steve
because
Avery
I
and the one.
want to
The
see if
Stephen Avery one just it shocked me. It literally made me rethink my whole stance on that case.
Okay, now Bestie, did you watch it on Netflix?
No, it was on the Daily Wire
Daily
website.
Wire. I
It
got it
might
right
be
here.
on her YouTube now, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm watching the right ones that y'all tell me to watch.
Yeah, the Daily Wire, since she doesn't work there anymore, I don't know if they'll have any videos of her up still.
Yeah,
I
this is
know
just a
episodes,
trailer.
at least 1 and 2 of it were on YouTube. That I remember.
Oh, YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were I thought I was saying it on like the Daily Wire
No,
website.
she's been gone from them for like well over a year now, right?
Yeah. And that's what she said. She mentioned in her podcast, or it's on a TikTok. I'm not on her podcast. I just scroll and it pops up, but she where she had said Christ is king. She's like, this is the holy weekend, and what better way for them to bring that back. She's like, I haven't heard that saying and like all over, like they are making it sound to be. They are making it sound that everyone is saying Christ is king and just posting that. And because that's why she got let go.
From the Daily Wire thing.
Yes,
Okay.
because the what happened,
She's right.
with Israel and Hamas, and uh, you know, Ben is Jewish, and Candace was saying the media wanted her input, like, and she's like, I'm not getting in the middle. I'm not. She's like, but no children deserve to die like this. Not, I mean, nobody does.
Right.
And she wrote on Twitter, I think, Christ is king. And
Facts.
that's it. And she came back into work and
Mm,
she was let go.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I
Those
confirm
that's in the
that.
live, can you please gift and uplift my panel guests?
Oh,
Yeah,
Hit my
thank you.
gift and uplift my
So,
box up here and
so you
share
were
if you
talking
can.
about that the Tupac situation, I guess, right? And you implemented
Right.
Reggie White. Was it Reggie Wright Jr.?
Yes.
That's
Mm-hmm.
yes.
the guy. Yeah, he got. What about Mob James? Is Mob James on that documentary? Has he been
Um,
spoken about him on there, or he's just a liaison in that situation?
I haven't. I'm on episode 4.
Okay.
I don't
Bestie, have you
remember
seen it?
hearing that name in the documentary. I have to be honest. I could have
Okay.
missed it.
Okay.
Okay.
What did you say the name was?
Mob
Mob
James.
James. I've
MOB.
seen. Yeah, Mob.
Okay.
Yep. I've seen Mob James's interview on the Vlad,
Yeah.
but but what is I can that's like as far as I've seen it. Jacqueline, yes, I did do the episode on bullying. It didn't. It wasn't how we. We're going to come back and do another one. We're talking with JoJo.
Yes,
Um,
and I sent you a follow request, Jacqueline. If you want to become friends with me, you can check out some of the videos that I've done calling out a particular group if you're interested.
yes, you should be interested. She's great. Trust me, she is awesome.
Well, I don't
And,
know. During that live I got, you saw me get mad, but yeah, yeah.
but you
So.
deserve it. You should have. I was mad with you. I totally feel you. I get it. I get it. But yeah, I'm gonna look forward to. We're gonna do it with talking with JoJo. The other guests, it just yeah no. That was an executive decision on not to bring her to
It's like,
What did I miss?
yeah.
Well, we was gonna do. We had a a show dedicated to cyberbullying awareness, and we was gonna have talking with JoJo and the other person I won't mention because it's just not worth it. So
Was that other person coming on as the bully or coming on
no, no, no.
as
She
the?
was she was being bullied, and so her and talking with JoJo had a situation where she was being bullied too. So I was gonna have both of them on so they could give their accounts of their experience of dealing with cyberbullying. Talking with JoJo, she ended up having a work emergency, and so she couldn't make it. And then the
Hmm.
other person, the day before, like she had a live going, and there was some things that was going on, and during her live, that one of my news crew members or my moderators, they was like, "Hey, I'm watching her live, and I don't think she should come up as a guy. That's not who we need because one thing we pride ourselves on helping. We pride ourselves on helping, but we also pride ourselves on passing out facts to people here. So I can't. It was an executive decision that we couldn't bring her up, trying to bring awareness to cyberbullying when she's on her platform, cyberbullying
Right.
someone
That would,
else.
and you have yourself and your team. Well, I mean, because I'm on the team too, but yourself and your reputation to uphold, and you don't want
Exactly.
somebody to destroy that over something so not
Exactly.
that bullying, not little, but something so avoidable. Like you're right. There's so many other people that get bullied on here that there will be someone else you could definitely find.
Right, right, and that's the thing, like because no, so and to each his own. What whoever goes live and whoever has a platform, it's just that it's your platform, so you can talk about how whatever you want to. You can conduct yourself in your platform, however you want to conduct it. However, as for me and people I surround myself with, like it's friends talking with JoJo, we really do implement integrity in our lives. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's not gonna be just coming on here and just wilding out like that. And so there's been times when I go and talking with JoJo's live, and people who follow her will follow me.
Hmm.
And well, I can't do a show on cyberbullying and then have my people have y'all following going and follow that person, and then when you get on that
Oh,
person's
yep.
platform, they're doing exactly what we was
Yeah.
just trying to bring on. It just so yeah, no, we take this seriously, and.
And I took it really seriously on my platform. I made sure I didn't mention any names. Everything is redacted because you have to be careful too. You don't want to dox somebody and,
Right.
put them at risk. So you have to be really careful when you do it. But I can tell you guys from experience, just briefly, you also have to be willing to show that you mean business and
Yes.
that you're not going to put up with it and you're respectfully going to call it out. That doesn't make you a bully.
No.
No.
It makes you standing a person that is able to stand up for yourself. And once I did that, guess what happened?
No
The
more.
bully is taken down themselves. Nothing more needed to be done. It's a very easy thing. You have to be able to stand by what you say. If you make a mistake during it, own it. Because I did make a mistake. I kind of grouped creators together in one of the videos, and the one creator really took it to heart. And when I looked back at the video, I said, well, she called me out in a live. She didn't call me out in necessarily a video dedicated to me. The other creator did. So I made a retraction video, because when you show that you're willing and able to admit when you're wrong, when you're not going to do it anonymously, when you know that you need to redact people not only to protect yourself, but at the end of the day, you have to protect the integrity of the platform as well. That's really all it takes. That's all it took for me.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yep.
a difficult process. Yelling and screaming on the live about cyberbullying is not going to chase away the bullies. You have
It's
to
not.
stand up for yourself and not be afraid.
Hmm.
And people
That's
also
true.
want to do it anonymously too. And if that, you can't do it that way, unfortunately, because it just doesn't work.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And this person, the other guest that was going to be on the show, I mean, the people that were okay. How can I? Because I'm going to say they were bullying her in the beginning. That's how. Okay, let me bring it to you this way.
Now, hang on, but is she someone that is in here often?
Well,
Or
she's
did,
not anymore because I blocked her.
well, was in here often?
Not often, but she came in a few times. She wouldn't
Okay.
speak. She didn't. She didn't. She wasn't like part of the main group or our main followers. No, she wasn't that. She would just come in and just watch or observe, but she wouldn't
Okay.
participate or talk like that. But in the
Gotcha.
beginning, when she first brought to me that she was going through this situation and being bullied, like I said, if you don't know me, one thing you will learn about me: I am very big on loyalty. Period. I'll rock with you all day if you're loyal. So this particular person was an ex girlfriend of my cousin, and so when she messaged me that morning and said that, hey, they picking on me. First of all, who was they? I didn't know who that was. And then once we got that established, and I'm like, okay, well, that's my cousin's ex girlfriend, so I'm going to make sure she's okay. And so I asked my cousin first, hey, is it all right if I give her my phone number so she can send me the screenshots that she's got? Because
Is
she
this
was
the
like,
cousin that is out or in?
no, he's out. This one's
Okay.
out.
Okay.
And so she was like, he's like, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, because she was telling me, well, I'm not with your cousin no more, so you can just give me your phone number. And I'm like, no, I don't. No, we. Well, I don't try to put myself in situations that could possibly be
Right.
misconstrued, right?
That was
And
smart
so,
thinking.
yeah, you got to think ahead. You got to think from all aspects. So he
And
said it
you
was
have to
okay.
have receipts, unfortunately. You know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
Yes.
right,
I
right.
could show I have plenty of receipts. To show what happened to me. But, I'm at the point now where I'm past it and I'm moving forward because it's not really what I do, you know? And
Right.
I don't want to make it what I do. I'm not interested in that, but I'm very proud that I stood up for myself.
Well, that's why I was when you were saying that you addressed it. It's over with, right? So
Hmm.
and that's the differences between you and this other guest is you handled it the way it was supposed to be handled.
Hmm.
This person, not only did she not handle it how she should handle it, but as time went on, I started to see that what those people were saying about her, she was actually showing me. So it's like, well, it's hard to get on somebody for bullying you or saying that they're bullying you when it's just a lot, man. I wish we had enough time for me to get into, but then she goes and she's the same thing that they would here. I'm gonna put it in a nutshell. I'm not gonna even beat y'all ears up like that. I'm just gonna put it like this. So that it was okay for her to do this to other people, but when somebody did it to her, that's when she didn't like it. And we're not gonna do that. It's not a hey,
Mm.
you know, I can do it, but yeah, you take up for me when it happened. No, we're not gonna do that.
Oh, Jacqueline, that's terrible. I'm sorry to see that. That's not right.
It's cyberbullying. It's people bullying my son and my family, and he's autistic. Oh yeah, okay. So no, that's totally different. Okay, yes, no, we haven't done um a show on that. However, Jojo, would you like to do that on your platform? Or come on your platform and do it?
Sure.
Right. So get with JoJo. You all set up a time. And yeah, I'll come over and we can definitely do that.
Your family is bullying him. Oh,
Wow. We
wait, your
definitely
fam.
need to get on that.
Oh, I am
Yeah, we're
so
definitely going to
sorry,
have to hear her story.
Jacqueline.
I'm really interested.
Yes. Jacqueline, get with talking with JoJo, and we're gonna come together and we'll try to come up with some solution for this because but this has to be addressed. That's not fair and that's not right at all. And I definitely think that this is something that we could probably put our heads together with, along with other our listeners, and see what we can come up with to help out. In the meantime, you have our prayer to stay strong and strengthen, and pray that our Father God, covers you and your family and you and your son with protection.
Yes. And Mr. B, I have to get down. It's time for me to get back to work. Break's
Okay.
over.
Thank you so much. Thank you
You're
so much.
very welcome.
All right. You have a good day. I'm
Bye,
gonna go
Miss
ahead. I'm gonna end the
JoJo.
show too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I appreciate you,
Jessica,
man.
always good talking to you. Demetrius, nice talking to you as well.
Thank you
Also,
all.
thank you, man. I'll speak to you. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, brother. You're welcome anytime.
Oh,
Come up.
Demetrius, I had to talk to you.
Yes, nice to meet you, also, Jessica.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you a question.
All right, go right ahead.
Unless, I mean, did you have to go?
Not at the moment. I got like 2 minutes. Go ahead, ask me a question.
Did you, because you brought up the Tupac cover up, documentary. Did you watch it?
No, I have not watched this documentary that the whatever the lady was speaking about. I did not see that yet. I need to watch
Okay.
that. Only thing I've ever watched was
Okay,
like the
Jess. I mean Jacqueline.
Reggie White stories and the individual things about this Tupac murder. Oh, I can't say that on here. Whatever you want to say, but the Tupac
Yeah, a lot of them.
the situation. I just call it a situation.
There you
So
go.
I don't know what the case may be, but as I look at it, it falls back on like the PVD stuff, the Diddy stuff, all those individuals. So it's got something to do with Diddy. So
Yeah,
90% is
that part.
90% is leaning towards the Diddy situation
Somewhere
on
in
all
there,
terms. But
he's in there somewhere.
somewhere in there. But I don't know about the Reggie White, maybe. But when I watch him now, he doesn't seem like he has that much characteristics to be able to pull something off like this. But maybe he does. I don't know. I have to watch more details about him.
Yeah.
But when I see him, I don't see that as a as a point man. I don't see him as a point man. I don't know, but
Not muscle. Not off the muscle. It's just the reason why I say him is because I'm talking about like he's that kind of person. Like I said earlier, doesn't get invited to the party, but when
okay.
he's telling the story, he's gonna pretend like he was there.
Oh, he was there.
But
He was there. He's all the events. He was all over the place.
right. He was the life
Yeah,
of the party, but
yeah. He was
he's
the
really
best.
irrelevant, right?
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. He on the wall.
and
He on the wall.
yeah,
He doing the Ice Cube. He reliving the stories on he writing
yeah.
all the gangster stuff that's happening all around the world. He could write it out in a book and a rap, but he never did none of it.
Ain't busted a grape in the wine factory, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's how I think, and the reason why I say him is I feel like he got in his feelings that Pac fired him off security detail.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a possibility. I'll watch it and I'll do some research. I let it go by because I figured that it was already settled. But I guess we're
Thank you
still
for
on
that,
the
Harvey
point.
Conscious.
I guess we're still on the point where it's never been settled and we can't figure out the situation. I don't know. They said
Yeah,
it was Suge at one time, but then you said Suge was on probation or something, and he
right.
wouldn't have did it, and he could have set the gateway towards it, but for what cause? I mean, I just don't understand the purpose of it, except for like the life insurance policies he might have had on him, or something that could have been effective that does come out the loop later on. But
Were
Yeah,
you in here when I said, that he was driving, so why would he set it up where he was,
yeah, I see what you're saying, but if it comes down to the money, man, anything is possible.
true.
You can shoot me in my arm a little bit, and just make sure you braze me, don't get me too good.
I
But
now
but
in the beginning I did in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, I did believe that he had something to do with it as far as he had handed as far as Suge,
Look,
but
I
yeah,
did too for the
yeah,
longest time.
but
There,
now as time go on, I don't think
yeah,
because it was really Interscope that really had Fox sign or his dealing
okay,
was
yeah,
through
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It really
So
wasn't even Death
it's
Row.
probably something tied with them. Not at the
Yeah,
same time, it's tied with that record company that's doing something, shady on the side, because they didn't like
absolutely.
it, the direction it was going, and he thought they could make more money on his passing than on him living. So, they say, oh,
Right,
we'll get rid of him, so we'll recoup all the money that way. That's what
right.
most of these situations are nowadays. If you go back and look
In
at,
most cases, right.
yeah, in most cases, these situations are coming to light. This is the case. But I'm not
Well,
gonna
now
hold you up, brother. I know you got things to do, and we got
oh,
time to
you know,
roll. But you know what I'm saying. But
we'll be back. Hey, we'll be back.
we'll
We're
be
gonna
back.
dive into it. Don't worry.
Well, and
All right.
Dimitri, what I was gonna say to with JoJo, um, earlier, because when we were talking about this, I want y'all to go onto YouTube. There's a call from Suge to Ray J.
Oh yeah. Uh huh.
Did you hear that?
Who, Ray
Yeah.
J?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he still relevant? I just don't get
That's
it.
what
Dog,
that's kind of like what Suge is saying. He's like,
Oh,
you're
okay.
putting out all
Rage.
these false information, um, saying I had something to do with, I don't know what he said. If he said pox on a lot or something, he's
Okay.
like, why don't we talk truths? I'm here for the truth. What happened?
Ray J. Is this the truth? Ray J. I'm gonna say allegedly for the sake of TikTok, but
Okay. Good.
Ray J has a hand in my cousin's unaliving
Really?
in that
Oh,
hotel.
dang.
Really? Wow.
Hashtag I'm gonna say
Okay. Wow.
it.
And Houston's unaliving.
Yes, this is that. Yes,
Oh, is
yes,
that your cousin?
yes. Through marriage.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh yeah, I don't talk about it on. That's because people think you clout chat. I just don't bring it up, and then
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
say stupid stuff on here, and then I'll end up wanting to
Yeah. You don't want
defend
to
something.
gotcha.
do.
Yeah,
That's because that's what I was gonna say. Is that's exactly what Shook said. Let's talk facts. Let's talk about how you were the one, given. She would name him as she would say Brandy's little brother.
hmm
She didn't say Ray J. She would say Brandy's little brother. So, um, and he was in the room that night.
right, right. He was.
And so listen to that call because I think,
Okay.
and he brings up Snoop in that call too.
Oh, I'm not even gonna go there with that guy. But
He said, "Boy, look, that's a whole."
yeah, I'm not even gonna go there with no Snoops.
No,
Whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just
I know
know
what you're
that
saying, but
he brings.
it's just a part of bro, I can't even can't go there with it. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
man. At this point, man, Snoop is just like what I'm saying. He like Uncle Ben's on the rice box, bro. I'm done. So I can't even.
Facts.
Yeah, I
I
can't
don't
do it.
think anyone would. I think two entire generations, probably three, would not let anything happen to Snoop.
Uh,
Yeah. He.
yeah.
Yeah. He.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think probably it's
We're gonna have
about
to bring
three
Snoop up for another show.
Oh no, no, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, guys. But I do appreciate you, brother. I
Hey, I
appreciate you.
appreciate you all.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you for
dip for a
coming
little
in.
bit because I'm gonna go get me something to eat on, and what I'm saying, and move on for the day. But
Okay.
one love, brother. See you guys.
Hey, peace and blessings. One
I'm gonna
love. Take care.
message you.
Okay, sure. I'll text
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that was all interesting.
It was, and I appreciate you coming up on the panel too. By the way.
Thank.
By the way, can we give it up for all my panel guests? Appreciate their point of views and appreciate them spending their time with us. All the gifters that's in here, we appreciate it. Thank you for gifting and uplifting. And those of you who just decided to come in and hang out with us, hey, this platform wouldn't go without you all. So I appreciate you all for deciding to take your time out of your day to spend with me here on my platform. Thank you so much. And so, with that being said, this is your self proclaimed favorite news reporter, Mr. Breaking News, signing off from the newsroom here in the A. You all have a great day.